Dave Ramsey is a businessman, author, former real estate agent, and radio personality whose simple yet effective approach to personal finance has made him a household name. Most people probably know him best as the host of the syndicated radio program, The Dave Ramsey Show, which features Dave and sometimes a special guest engaging in dialogues with various callers regarding their unique financial situations. Some of Ramsey's most popular books include The Total Money Makeover, Financial Peace, and Baby Steps Millionaires. A piece of advice from Evan. If you read these books, you should probably skip all the anecdotal blurbs sprinkled throughout the book. They are fluff and only contribute to the book by trying to inspire the reader. If you don't need inspiration and just need the information, skip the success stories.
Ramsey is famous for his baby steps. Full disclosure, my wife and I use these baby steps in our financial planning. The baby steps are a set of 7 ordered tasks which bring you closer to financial freedom with each leap. Again, they should be done in order. Step 1. Save $1,000 for an emergency fund. Step 2. Pay off all debts from smallest to largest, not including the mortgage. This is called the debt snowball. So start with your little credit card payment that's $100. Move on to, your car payment and all that. And finally get to those student loans if you have any and pay those off. And even just doing steps 1 and 2 will bring you a long way, even if you stop there. But you shouldn't stop there. Moving on to step 3. Save enough for 3 to 6 months of expenses, whatever that may be for you. If you're a family, that's going to be a lot. If you're just a bachelor living a monk lifestyle, that won't be that much. And now steps 4, 5, and 6 can be done simultaneously. So step 4, invest 15% of your total income for retirement. That's the 401ks we were talking about. Step 5, save for your children's future, probably college, but whatever. You don't have to send them to college. Step 6, pay off the mortgage early. And man, when you hit step 6, I just can't imagine that feeling when I get there.
You'll be rocking and rolling, baby.
All debt is gone. All the money you get goes to taxes and whatever you want. No debt.
Man, you won't know what to do with yourself.
No. And step 7, continue to build wealth and be charitable. Enjoy yourself.
You will have earned it. On top of the baby steps, Ramsey is noteworthy for advocating a complete removal of credit cards from your life. He makes no exceptions to this. He says to use a debit card and hard cash.
Now, on top of that, he's also famous more recently. As background, he's pretty libertarian about things. At least fiscally, he's libertarian. He's made a lot of waves for his opinions on the recent restrictions and quarantines and all that. So he's very based when it comes to that. He's literally ridiculed people for coming into the office wearing a mask.
Nice.
He got a lot of bad press on that. Oh, well.
I did see that in his controversies section on Wikipedia.
I did too.
So let's discuss these steps. Which have we struggled with? Which are easy? Which do we disagree with, if any? And do we think that any of them don't go far enough?
I would say they go far enough. I like the steps as they are. As far as which I've struggled with, we're currently on step 3. So we've done 1 and 2, full disclosure. We don't have any debt besides the mortgage.
Which is an awesome place to be in.
Yeah, when you're
Great
young.
place.
When you're young with a family, that's very good. But I was blessed, though, that my parents did pay for my college. So I didn't have the student loans to pay off. Nice. I did get a very good scholarship, though, so it wasn't that much in total. But still, I didn't have that to pay off.
Exactly, which is that's a big thing right there. So many people have gigantic student loans. I know people in their 40s who are still paying those off. That's rough.
Yeah, we're still working on step 3 of getting 6 months of expenses in the bank. That's just because we have 2 kids and one of them has a lot of medical expenses. So we're getting there. And then I do invest. So I kind of did skip ahead. I put a lot of my money into 401k because they match. And I'm not going to let that go to waste.
Of course. So had you not done that, you might be closer to accomplishing step 3.
Yeah, I have quite a bit of money in there.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. That's awesome. Because you're just exchanging short-term for long-term at that point. Your short-term money would be whatever you got in your bank account now, but you're investing in long-term. So yeah, that's cool. And you're making it elsewhere. Otherwise you're not sacrificing those first few steps to accomplish this later investment step. So you're doing fine. That's awesome. Okay, so do you think that starting off is a very hard step for you? Or do you think that's probably the hardest step for most people, like just saving $1,000?
Yeah, I would hope that there's not that many people who don't have $1,000 in the bank, but I know I'd be surprised if I got statistics on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. Now, how many of those are their own fault and how many or whatever? I don't know. That's kind of beyond the scope of this episode.
I
But,
agree.
You really should have at least $1,000. I mean, there have been many times emergencies have come up and I've had to spend over $1,000. So you really should probably have more than $1,000.
Oh yeah, you should. Well, that's why that's just step one.
Yeah,
That's like the minimum you should have. If I may, let me give you a little anecdote. Okay, I was recently out after going to the gym. I was out getting a brewski with just some people that I kind of loosely knew, some acquaintances at the gym. And let's just say that this was in a more liberal part of town with a little more liberal group of people. Okay, about my age, mid to late 20s. And some of them were talking about how they have roommates. Some of them were talking about how they're wondering how they're going to be able to afford XYZ or their car payment and things like that. And I'm listening to them talking about all this stuff. And I'm looking at my beer. And my beer probably cost me like $7. Their beers might have cost about the same. There are some beers up there that might cost you closer to $8 or something. And these people spent hours at this place, drinking one after the other. Exactly. You know where I'm going with this. So these people are on the one hand complaining about not having money or having to have a roommate or deal with their roommate or whatever and not being able to make their car payment. And then on the other hand, they're talking about going to a rave, going to a concert, drinking 3 or 4, $6, $7 beers in one night. And they wonder why finances are such a trouble for them. It just blew my mind. It's the "we should improve society" somewhat meme. And then the guy's like, you drink $12 coffee. Okay, you want to improve society? Just give up some of your luxuries. And that's what a lot of young people, I think, don't understand. They just can't give up those luxuries.
As Kiyosaki said, the poor pay for luxuries first and then regret it. Well, their finances regret it.
Exactly. I'm out here drinking $7 beer because I can afford it. You're drinking $7 beer because you're a freaking liberal snowflake. We are not the same. Case closed.
I'm not going to get racial. Okay, you got those guys, you got the ghetto, and they're like living in these dilapidated houses or apartments in terrible conditions, barely making rent, and yet they got these gold necklaces on.
Yeah, they got chains.
They got all this glam.
They got rims.
They got glamour, and miss me with that. Stop.
Man, I can't even.
No luxuries if you're barely making ends meet. It's pretty simple.
They're in Section 8 and they're like, man, I got to get that Birkin bag, yo. I got to get that Gucci. Yeah, it happens. So I hear you.
What step are you on?
At the end of the day, I would say I am at step. I'm not contributing 15% of my income to my retirement. I need to be. I've been trying to figure out how to do that. But I just haven't.
And you don't have a mortgage, full disclosure. So
yeah, full disclosure, I don't have a mortgage. But yeah, I've got the savings.
Or children.
Yes, or the children to pay for. Exactly. So there are fewer expenses in my life.
So you're on step 4.
I would say I'm on step 4.
You don't have any debt?
Other than a credit card I pay off every month.
No, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Yeah, because it's paid off every month. No, because I just paid off my truck last year. So yeah, no debt. Pretty cool. I went to trade school, guys. I didn't go to a university. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Thanks for listening to the Sons of Antiquity highlight reel. To hear this clip in context and to enjoy our full-length episodes, check out the links in the description or search Sons of Antiquity on YouTube, BitChute, Spotify, or Apple and Google Podcasts.